let's make a cute print and cut wood sign with the xTool M1 Ultra. Hello, I am Katie from thecraftyblogStalker.com, and if you're new to my channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. To make our print and cut sign, of course I'm using my xTool M1 Ultra. I am also using 2 sheets of 12 by 12 basswood that are 3 millimeters thick each, and my inkjet cartridge for the machine. The sign I am making is a design that I created specifically for this project, and I will have it available to download it for free. So make sure and check that supply list either in the description of this video or in the blog post for that link. This is the first print and cut sign that I am making with my xTool M1 Ultra. So I will be showing all of my steps, all of my mistakes, and I hope there aren't that many. I am starting in the xTool Creative Space. I'll add a project to open a new canvas. I want to upload my design. So I went to downloads, and my design is actually 3 pieces. I've got 2 images and 1 cut file. On my cut file, I'm going to ungroup. I'm going to make this just a little bit smaller and put it off to the side. Each of these pieces is now its own. I am going to group these 2 together because I don't want that center part to come away from where it's supposed to be. Now these images, I'm going to come in and size so they fit right inside my design. That placement looks really good. I'm going to group those together. I'm going to come over here and do my sunshine, and that looks good, so I'm going to group those together. I'm going to cut my design using 2 12 by 12 sheets of basswood. So I'm going to change the size of my entire design so that circle fits on a 12 by 12 sheet of basswood. This summer will go on a second sheet. Then I need to make sure and define my lines. So these 2 I'm going to ungroup real quick so I can highlight the one with the blue outline, and that one is going to be engrave. The black line is going to be a cut. For my material, I'm going to select user defined material and go to 3 millimeter basswood and confirm. I need to ungroup these again so I can choose the cut for the black outline. I'm going to move that cut to the back. See how it went away? This one I'm going to change. Oh, it won't let me change it to print, so that means I need to connect my xTool. That doesn't know that I have a machine that prints until I connect it. I'm going to turn it on and then connect. There we go. Now we're connected. Go back to my sunshine, and I can change that to multi-module processing. Then it will change the images to prints. I want to use the ink module, and then I can group those again. Bring the cut forward. On this one, we're going to move that engrave back so I can grab my image and change that to ink module. And I can push it back down. I'm going to group that whole section together. I'm going to open up my laser, and I need to put in my triangular prisms. Move this all the way to the right, and I am using a sheet of 3 millimeter basswood. Line that up with the square on the base of the M1 Ultra. I am going to tape this into place. There are no instructions that say that you should do this, but on my prepping for this project, I noticed sometimes the wood would move, making my engraving and my print not line up. Since I want them to line up perfectly, I'm going to make it so this piece of basswood doesn't move. I'm just using some simple masking tape or painter's tape would work, keeping in mind where it's going to print and where it's going to cut, so my tape strips aren't in the way. That is not going to move. To be able to process everything, I need to move my arm here. I want to print before I cut, and right now we've got my laser aperture in, so I'm going to take that out. Here is my inkjet module. I'm going to take off that bottom, slide that into place, lock it, and then open the front and plug it in. We've got our tray for our print module. I'm going to slide that onto that bottom screw. Take off one of my sticky labels and put that in the tray. Normally you want to put the cap to your ink right here, but I've also noticed that when printing on wood, when it comes to pick it up, it's not tall enough and it bumps in to our wood, which can knock it out of place. For this project, I am not going to put the cap in the tray. I'm just going to remember to put it on when I'm done with the print module. I move that carriage so the X's line up with the corner of the square that's on that base plate. Shut my machine. Back on my iPad, I'm going to click on process. It's saying objects in gray area cannot be processed. So we are going to just shrink those up a little bit. There we go. Now I can click on process, and there it shows the print. If I go to task 2, you can see that it changes to the laser module. Task 1 is our ink module. I'm ready to print, so I'm going to frame, and then I hit this button on the front. You'll see that it kind of outlines where that cut and that print is going to be. I think my tape down here is in the way. I'm just gonna peel that up and move that. I shut my lid. I'm gonna hit start by hitting the silver button on the front, and then it's gonna come over and do a quick dab with the ink. Even though it's yellow, you can see that those are good lines, so we are good to print. I'm going to open it up so we can see it a little bit better. Look at how cool that looks. I'm going to take off my print module and put on that cover. There is my laser module. I'm going to slide that one on. Back on my iPad, I can click on next because we are done with step 1. Tells me to make sure to have the laser module in, which I do, and it is locked in place. I can start step 2. It's going to measure my material. Then I can hit that silver button on the front. It's going to do the engrave part first, and then it will cut. The base piece is done. I'm gonna lift my lid and I can take this out. Look at how cool that looks. I didn't line up the colors exactly, but that's okay. I still think it looks really, really good. Now I'm going to repeat for the sunshine piece that goes on top. Got my new sheet of basswood that I'm going to tape into place. I need to go back so I can work on my word. I'm going to highlight the entire design just to make sure that I don't resize anything. Then go back to process. I need to place my ink module back in, so I'm going to remove my laser module. Here's my ink module. I'm going to take off that cap, set it aside, and plug it in. Then with this little piece right here, I'm just going to pick it up and rotate it. Shut my lid. In the app, I'm going to select framing and hit the silver button on the front. And this will show me where that sunshine word is going to go by framing it with the light. Looks like great placement. I'm going to hit framing completed. I do need to move this so it is on our project. So I'm just going to put it up in the upper left hand corner. Start. I forgot to lock it. And start. It measures the distance. I'm going to hit that silver button to start it. It's going to come over and do a little dab of the ink, and I want to pay attention to how those lines look. They look good. So I'm just going to let it print. We're done printing. Open this up, unlock our ink module, unplug it, lift it up, and put that bottom on. Place our laser module back on, lock it in place, line it up on our project, shut the lid. And then on the app, I can go to next since we have finished that first print layer. It measures my material. Then I can hit the silver button on the front and it will begin the cut. Here are my printed and then cut pieces. I did notice here on this sunshine that I did get a little bit of flashback residue. So we're gonna clean this up a little bit. I've got a wipe and this is probably gonna take off some of the ink as well. To restore the color to it, I am going to paint it. I know that defeats the purpose of printing, but in this case, I think I just need to play around with my settings a little bit to get it where I don't get that flashback. So for the time being, I'm gonna paint it. I'm gonna grab a clean wipe. I'm gonna add a little bit of paint to my wipe. Just gonna paint it on with the wipe. I'll get some on my table and that's okay. I'm gonna let this first coat dry. I'm gonna do it again. Oh, and it broke right there. That's okay, we can fix that too. My word sunshine is done drying. Now I can add it onto my sign. I am just using some simple wood glue. Before I glue it down, we're gonna find that placement. And yes, these two are still broken. I haven't attached them yet. I think that looks good right there. there. I'm gonna start gluing. I'm gonna take a Post-it note, drop my glue on there. I like to brush my glue on. That way I don't get as many clumps. I'm gonna take my S, we're gonna start with that, and just apply my glue, and then place it on. Pop a glue right there. I'm gonna take care of that. Glue this piece on. Normally this would be one piece. The unshine would be one piece, but I accidentally broke it at a weak point. That was my own fault, but we can fix it. And then on this one, I'm gonna put a good little glob of glue right there in that little joint where the pieces came apart. This does dry clear, so even if a little bit squeezes out, that is okay. Push that together and put some glue on the back of our eye. And here is my first print and cut sign with the xTool M1 Ultra. I really love how this turned out. Yes, we run into some issues, but that looks great. Thank you for joining me today. If you want more information about the xTool M1 Ultra, make sure to go to their website, xtool.com. And if you want more fun tutorials, then visit my website, thecraftyblogStalker.com. Thanks everyone. Bye and happy crafting.